Brian.
Jason.
And this is the Perfectly Screwed Podcast.
How's everybody doing there?
How's it going? Did you enjoy the North Pole there, Jason?
I'm still a little hungover.
Me too. I'm drinking Jack and Coke right now, son.
A little hair
I'm
on the
still
dog.
on there. Yeah, a little hair on the dog.
Hungover, there's a little jet lag.
Can't believe Arrow showed up.
I'm possibly still tripping. Definitely withdrawing from all the cocaine we did, but other than that,
Jesus, that was, I think that's
I hope Arrow made it back safely.
I want to say that is Jack Daniels with a splash.
Last I knew, when we had our layover in Anchorage, he was talking about staying with that big woman. He was talking to at the airport. So I don't know if he caught his flight down to Baton Rouge or not.
I don't know where
he may still be in Anchorage.
He might be.
Crazy son of a bitch. He didn't sleep for 3 days.
I know. Crazy bastard. I can't believe they invited him.
Oh, what a surprise.
Dude, after what he did to those 3 elves and that reindeer, I bet you won't be invited back.
Oh, no.
Poor Blitzen. She was sick.
It's hard to offend Mrs. Claus, but Arrow found a way.
Yeah. Blitzen was sick, and Arrow still was fucking that poor reindeer. And I felt bad for the reindeer and Arrow. I really did. I felt bad for everybody. Oh, by the way, news. Did you hear that Donald Trump is running again, 2024? But sadly, he's not getting any backing from the Republican Party, nor is any news outlet even talking to this crazy bastard. But he's running again. Of course, it can't be any worse than who we got. I mean, anybody is better than what we got in office right now. This motherfucker doesn't even make sense anymore. He just mumbles to himself.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's why Trump will win.
I don't think he's going to get to the point where he can win.
Really?
I don't think he's going to win the primaries. Right. I think they're going to nominate someone else for the box. Because I don't see Trump getting to the primaries. I really don't. But yeah, what was it Biden said recently? Oh my God, I can't remember. He said they asked him about the economy, and he goes, "Yeah, I think China's doing really well."
That's what he said?
Yeah. And then he said something about a pony. I can't remember exactly, but it was crazy. It was completely not anywhere near the topic of what they asked him. I was like, well, at this point, But anyway.
He's insane, man.
Yeah, he's not insane. He's got Alzheimer's. He reminds me of Ronald Reagan in his last term. It's really bad. Yeah. It's really, really bad. So,
I mean, think about it, man. Think about the amount of stress.
Think about his age.
I mean, if he's already not well, he's in his 80s. He's already in his 80s, and then you're in the office of the President of the United States, dude, with all that stress on top of it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It's bound to happen. He probably should have came to the North Pole with us.
He would have had fun.
He would have.
You wouldn't know where he was, but he had fun. Since I'm drinking, I want everybody to know something that's going on right now. The drinking game. We have a drinking game here on the Perfectly Screwed Podcast. And you know what? This time I'm going to let you explain the drinking game, sir.
Oh, well, the drinking game is very simple. When Brian mispronounces a word, which he so often does, it could be whether he's reading or he's just plain talking, he's going to probably slur a word or, mispronounce a word. And at that point, everybody, you are free to take a shot or a drink of whatever adult beverage you might have in your hand. If you're not an adult, you can take a swig of Pepsi or Mountain Dew, whatever it is.
I want you to know I'm 3 Jack and Cokes in at this point, so yeah.
So usually when he's getting a buzz on, he actually talks more clear than when he's stone cold sober for some reason.
Yeah, the drinking game might be real sad for y'all today.
So, you can make up your own rules, but those are the rules.
Well, since we're into it, what are we talking about today, man?
The Men in Black.
The Men in Black. Dun, 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 dun. Here come the men. I better stop because see, we can only give you a snippet of that because if I sing any more, I could get sued. So here come the men hitting it from the back.
It's
Pussy defenders.
The only thing that comes up when on Google, if you type in Men in Black, it's about the movie.
No, it doesn't. That's because you didn't type the right thing in, son.
Obviously not.
Yeah. So, the Men in Black. So, a lot of people say this is a conspiracy. A lot of people say it's pop culture. But there's supposedly men dressed in black suits who claim to be government agents who harass, threaten, or sometimes even assassinate witnesses of unidentified flying objects to keep them quiet about what they've seen. The term is also frequently used to describe mysterious men working for an unknown organization, as well as various branches of the government tasked with protecting secrets or performing other strange activities. The term is kind of generic and is used for any unusual, threatening, or strangely believed individual who appears on the scene and can be linked to some fashion in UFO sighting.
There it is.
There it is.
UFO.
Okay. Well, there's the first one for the drinking
UFO.
game.
He said UFO.
UFO.
And that is a drink, folks.
That is a drink.
Drinking game works.
Yes,
And
please
we're
take a drink.
To a hot start here.
Jesus Christ. You see, it's because I got this pod in. I'm going to do a quick advertisement for On, the nicotine pods that help you quit smoking.
Nice.
Yes. So, UFO sighting. Severely alleged encounters with the Men in Black have been oh my God, I fucked up again. Several. I meant to say several, and I said severe. Oh, God damn.
Well, some of the punishments are severe when the Men in Black visit you, but
some of the punishments are severe.
But in this case,
you will take a drink.
You go ahead and take a shot.
Yeah, you go ahead and take a shot, because that's two.
It's not often we get together on Saturday, so it's a nice day for the drinking game.
God damn. And you know what's
funny? It's snowy, it's a windy, it's just a cold, dreary day here in Indiana.
And the fucked up part is I shouldn't be drinking this much because I got to work tomorrow. So tomorrow I'm going to regret all of this shit.
Yes.
Just so everybody knows. But why stop now?
That's what alcohol was made for.
You're right. Sober Brian has to deal with that. Drunk Brian doesn't have to deal with that.
Right.
So fuck Sober Brian. Fuck him in his ass.
He's a piece of shit anyway.
Yeah, fuck him. So anyways, several alleged encounters with the Men in Black have been reported by UFO researchers and enthusiasts. The Men in Black supposedly appear throughout different moments in history. So, as we talk about the old Men in Black, they're mainly as we go into the Men in Black, it's mainly about UFOs. Supposedly, and I say supposedly because there's been no confirmation of their existence. But the thing is, come on. Look, we all know the government lies. Let's just be straightforward about that. The government is not going to tell you everything they know, everything they do. If they do release information, it's only because they want to. Okay? There's a trick, as we've said on many podcasts. The people that run this country, run this world, run our society, what you see is not what they want you to see.
Right.
You see what they're making you see. Just like the war in Ukraine. It's complete bullshit. So of course you're not going to know who the Men in Black are. If there's a secret organization stopping people from talking about UFOs, you're never going to find out about them.
No.
Because
the other thing the powers to be do is they use predictive programming through Hollywood.
Mm-hmm.
So they take the Men in Black and make it this, fun, action-packed adventure, family-friendly movie.
Mm-hmm.
But when in fact that's not at all what we're talking about here. But there is truth to it. There's just too many. There's too many witnesses. There's too many testimonials out there of people that have had encounters with the Men in Black to just discard it. You know what I'm saying? What I've always found interesting is how they appear so soon, where these UFOs appear. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
So it's like, are they? If the UFOs are extraterrestrial, are the Men in Black as well? And
That's
are they
right.
coming down at the same time as the sighting? Or maybe these UFOs aren't extraterrestrial. They are government, secret government, black budget funded aircraft that maybe they're testing. And of course, they're going to know where they're going to be testing it.
Right.
So they're going to know where they're going to need these men in black. So, it's just a really confusing thing, because the other thing is people describe the men in black differently. They're not all described the exact same way. They're all wearing a black suit, yes.
Mm-hmm.
They're all very mysterious, yes. But some...
They all wear black sunglasses.
Some look human.
Yeah.
Where others don't.
Correct. But in 1947 was the first case that we have claims of the Men in Black. And it was by Harold Dahl. And he claims that in 1947 he was warned not to talk about his UFO sighting on Murray Island. He said a man in a black, dark suit came to him and told him that he should not speak about what he's seen.
47 is the same year as Roswell.
Same year as Roswell, yes. Well, Roswell was right after this. So this is one of the first Men in Black sightings. And, Harold Dahl saw a UFO on Murray Island, saw an object in the sky.
Where's that at?
Murray Island? I have no idea. You can look it up real quick. Yeah, look up Murray Island.
What date are we talking, does it say?
1947, so
Doesn't
I don't know.
date?
No. Just look up 1947 Murray Island. I'm sure you'll find it. But to go on, so he was told by the Men in Black, a man in a dark suit, he said, to not talk about this. It would be very detrimental to his family and him, and no one would believe him if he spoke about what he saw. So then in the 1950s, Albert K. Bender, a UFOologist.
So the
Okay, Murray Island?
in the Puget Sound. Where the fuck's that?
Puget Sound?
I've heard of the Puget Sound before.
Well, look up that too.
It's okay. So we're Washington.
Washington.
Yeah, we're in Washington State.
Okay, it's state of Washington. Okay.
So northwest Washington, up there.
Yeah, it's funny. Most of these UFO sightings happen in the southwest or the upper western peninsula.
But
you don't see too many UFOs over in our neck of the woods.
This is June 21st of 1947, and Roswell happened July 4th.
Yeah, so right
that's
before
like
Roswell.
2 weeks later.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
So Murray was told he was not supposed to talk about his UFO sighting. And then in 1950, Albert K. Bender, who is a UFOologist, claimed he was visited by a man in a dark suit who threatened and warned him not to continue investigating UFOs. Did I just say investigating?
It was I didn't. It was so close. Half shots.
We're going to say a half a shot for that one. Jesus Christ. Bender maintained that the man in the black was secret government agent who had given him the task of suppressing evidence of UFOs. Now, UFOologist John Keel, who we all know who John Keel was. You know who John Keel was, right? Mothman.
Mm-hmm.
He has claimed to have had encounters with the Men in Black, and he referred to them as either demonic, supernatural, or from another planet. He said they had dark skin and exotic facial features. And then Jerome Clark reports that his experiences with Men in Black seem to have not even occurred in this world or in conscious reality. He said that he was taken onto a ship where he saw these men in black suits who, again, had really exotic dark facial features and told him not to talk about his experiences. And John Keel said the same thing. They told him not to talk about Mothman. They told him not to talk about the UFOs he saw, that he needed to stop researching Men in Black, that he needed to stop all UFO exploration, period. So, a historian, Aaron Gullis, wrote during the 1970s, 80s, and 90s that Men in Black were increasingly complex and paranoid visions. So he believes that the aliens are giving these visions to people, that they're not real. They're just a visual representation of our species that the aliens putting down here to tell you, hey, don't talk about us, dude.
Gotcha.
You're not supposed to tell the world about us. You know, we're going to give you a representation of what we think humans are, so that way, you know, you accept us, but we don't want you talking about us.
Like a hologram.
Yeah, like a hologram. So John Keel has argued that some Men in Black encounters can be explained by folklore and mundane events. But in the Mothman prophecies, Keel described a late-night outing in 1967 in rural West Virginia where he himself was mistaken for an MIB agent while searching for a phone to call a tow truck.
Oh, wow.
Right. So, even then, they thought he was a man in black for a little while because he was wearing a black suit and he came up to the house and they thought he was man in black.
Yeah.
And what's interesting is why would they think that?
Exactly.
They only thought that because they had been visited.
They would have already encountered him.
Right. 3 nights previously, they had been visited by the same guy that was in a black suit. And they said it looked exactly like John Keel. But he was in a completely black suit and told them, don't discuss what you've seen. Don't discuss what you've seen. Don't talk about these Mothmen. Don't talk about what you've seen. Keep it to yourself, buddy.
Yeah, it's interesting that it's not just UFOs now that, you know what I'm saying, that it's linked to.
Yeah.
Now we're talking cryptid.
Well, is it cryptid?
Right.
Or are they extraterrestrial beings that know more than we do?
Or is it like some kind of extraterrestrial device? Maybe it's a robot or something of some sort, you know?
So Harold Dahl, let's go back to Harold Dahl. He was on a conservative, I just said conservative. It's conservation, and that's a shot.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a shot. I just said a conservative mission.
He was. He was very conservative.
He was very conservative in his mission.
Safe as they
You're
possibly
damn
could.
right. He was conservative. He believed in gun rights and no abortion.
Damn right.
And he was on a mission to make sure.
Who's spreading the good news?
God, I need to stop drinking while I do podcasts. Conservation.
Okay.
Which is completely different than conservative. Okay. That'll be a shot, ladies and gentlemen, for everybody that's keeping track. And if you're behind, that would be 3 shots
Yeah,
today.
go ahead. Get your 3 in.
Yeah, get your 3. Or you make yourself a nice tall glass of whatever drink you're drinking, and please feel free to drink it. Because you know what? We find the podcast gets much better the drunker you are.
I would imagine.
Yeah, I would say. Anyways, Harold Dahl, back to the subject at hand with my stupid ass, was on a conservation mission on the Puget? It is Puget, right?
Puget.
Puget? Is it Puget? Puget Sound near the eastern shore of Washington Murray Island, gathering logs when he saw 6 donut-shaped obstacles hovering about 1.5 miles above his boat. Before long, one of them fell nearly 1,500 feet, followed by raining metallic debris, some of which hit Dahl's son, Charles, on his arm, as well as hit the family dog, who actually didn't survive the ordeal.
Yeah,
they killed the dog.
Broke the son's arm and killed the dog.
Killed the dog. Dahl even took pictures of the aircrafts with his camera, which he later showed to his supervisor, Fred Chrisman. Chrisman went back to the scene to look for himself and saw a strange aircraft with his own eyes. The following morning, Dahl was visited by a man in a black suit. He took him to a local diner where the man was able to recount in perfect detail what Dahl had experienced. He said, "What I have said is proof to you that I know a great deal more about this experience of yours than you will want to believe." Dahl was told then not to speak of the incident. If he did, bad things would happen to him and his family. The events of Murray Island have continued to fuel conspiracy theories to this day. The U.S. government, of course, deemed it a hoax, like they always do, like Roswell was a weather balloon.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure this was a weather balloon, too. You know, broke the son's arm, but it surely was a weather balloon.
Dog's dead, but...
Yeah,
right.
It was a weather balloon.
Right, of course.
I mean, you know, aluminum. It's a little bit nothing. Yeah, you know, nobody came to you and talked to you. Now, come on, guy.
Get out of here.
Yeah. And so later, through pressure from the government, Dahl and his supervisor both later on said, yeah, it was a hoax. They also said the man in the black suit was a lie. But this evolved into an obsession for UFO enthusiasts. Through all the different incarnations, the Men in Black usually have one main purpose. They muzzle witnesses of strange paranormal phenomena. They almost always wear black suits and hats with dark sunglasses. They drive black cars and arrive in groups of 2 or 3. Some describe them as one would an FBI agent. They always are described as having strange appearances with supernatural features like strange complexions and slightly glowing eyes. So, Dahl and Crimson reached out to Chicago Magazine to sell their story, and the magazine editor then contacted Arnold, a guy named Arnold, hoping he could verify their account. Arnold then summoned 2 officers of the Army intelligence to aid in the investigation of the claimed report. In July 1947, 2 Army intelligence officers came to investigate. After leaving in their B-25 the next day, the plane caught fire and crashed, killing both of the officers that were supposed to investigate the site. Isn't that interesting?
Is that Kenneth Arnold?
Yes.
Because Kenneth Arnold was the one in Washington State.
Yes.
He's the one that actually coined the term flying saucer.
Yes, it was Kenneth Arnold.
Yeah, because he saw these... He called them flying saucers. They looked like flying saucers, and he saw them flying between 2 mountain ranges. And he knew they were going at a rate of speed unlike anything that we had. He knew that by how fast they were going between the mountain ranges. Yeah, so that's wild.
So Kenneth Arnold was the one that coined it.
Yeah.
But the 2 officers he sent just happened to die.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So
after they investigated the site,
they're getting
on the way back, their plane catches fire mysteriously.
Because they're getting back on a plane to go report what they've investigated.
Right.
But they never get to report it.
Right. It mysteriously catches fire. No explanation for the fire.
No, of course not.
And it goes down, they both die.
No, because anytime a military plane crashes, they don't investigate how that happens ever.
No, of course not. No. Of course not.
It's just an act of God.
Yeah.
Grab the fucking dog tags and get the hell out of there.
So, a guy by the name of Baker wrote a book that told the story of all of this, right? Baker described Bender's visitors as 3 men in black suits with threatening, I'm getting there, I promise, expression on their faces. 3 men who walk in on you and make certain demands. 3 men who know that you know what the saucers really are. Bender described in his 1962 book, Flying Saucers and the Three Men, as this. They floated, he said he saw that they floated about a foot off the floor. They looked almost like clergymen, but wore hats similar to Homburg style. So, if you know what Homburg style is, it's like gangster hats. Mm-hmm. It's like a fedora type.
Yeah.
He said their faces were not clearly discernible, for the hats partially hid and shaded them. The eyes, though, all suddenly lit up like flashlight bulbs. They seemed to burn into my very soul, as the pain in my eyes became almost unbearable. He would go on to write several more books related to paranormal and UFOs, including the 1970s The Silver Bridge, which helped spread the word of another paranormal figure, the creature known as the Mothman. But how much of his writing was done in good faith, we don't know. Baker made it clear that he did not take the MIB or Mothman completely seriously, but that he believed all the accounts that he had seen. He believed there was something mysterious about the whole UFO and paranormal phenomenon of the Men in Black. So look, you got this doll guy and his supervisor that both said they saw these things. Okay? Then you've got John Keel. You've got other guys. All of these people have seen the Men in Black, but yet after they speak to the government, all of a sudden we don't see the Men in Black anymore. No, it's all a lie. Of course it's a lie now, because the government told you to shut the fuck up.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. You're telling me in the 40s and 50s and on to the 60s, there couldn't have been an organization orchestrated by our federal government that silenced people about UFOs. They covered it up every chance they got. Mm-hmm. Of course there was an organization that covered up the Men in Black. Or that covered up UFOs. I'm sorry, I'm fucked up. They covered up UFOs. Of course there was. Because they didn't want that information getting out. It was only, the last 5-10 years they even admitted that UFOs exist?
I know, I just wish I knew. It's hard to... Obviously, it would be hard to get to the bottom of, is our government working hand in hand with an extraterrestrial species?
Of course they are.
Or is our government the extraterrestrial species? Or is our government dealing with, like I said, these black budget, undercover, secret operations, and then they're the ones that are also, keeping it silent. And, back then, technology wasn't like it is. And information didn't spread as quickly as it does now. So it would be nothing to silence an entire city.
Well, why would the government...
fear.
Well, this is my thing. Why would the government want to cover it up? Maybe it's because aliens live among us every day and we don't know it.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Well, that's
very possible.
That's what when you know there's a cover up, but you don't know why. That's what leads to the imagination. You know what I'm saying? Like, it leaves you wondering just exactly what is going on, because the lengths that they have gone to cover these things up are so extreme that what they're hiding must be extreme. It's a truth that honestly, it's a truth that I really do believe that some people don't want to get out because they're fearful of what is going to happen once it does. Because if human beings learn something in mass that freaks them out, I mean, you know how we are.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, if you knew that there were aliens all around you at all times, living among you, you'd freak out.
Well, but especially now that there's been a lie and a cover-up, and it's been going on for so long, that means, I think what has happened is, at some point around this time, our government made a deal.
Oh, I do too.
They made a deal with an extraterrestrial species, and what they gave that extraterrestrial species was permission to abduct human beings for experimentation.
Well, think about this. After the 40s, technology advanced very, very quickly.
Very rapidly.
Right. Much more rapidly than way before that.
Well, for 1,947 years, you have no technology?
Yeah, and then all of a sudden, we have cell phones, computers, pagers, la 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 la.
In the blink of an eye?
In a blink of an eye.
Come on now.
Streaming, all kinds of shit.
Right.
Right. We have the atomic bomb. We have all kinds of shit.
You have fans.
Right.
We have actual fans.
Right.
Yeah.
Come on now. Let's be real.
Be real, right?
Yeah. I mean, look, Dr. Herbert Hopkins was working as a consultant on a UFO case in Maine. One evening, he received a phone call from someone saying to be an activist in the UFO community, asking him if he could visit Hopkins to discuss a case. He said only minutes, a few minutes later, the man arrived. The man was wearing a black suit and a black tie. He said he had unusual facial features, no hair or no eyebrows, extremely pale figure. Hopkins said his dog began barking erratically the minute the man entered the home. After the visitor was finished questioning him about the UFO case that he was working on, the visit got even stranger. Hopkins said, the man in black informed that there were 2 coins in Hopkins' pocket which were correct, and asked him to remove one. Hopkins complied. There's number 4. Oh, God. There's shot number 4, ladies and gentlemen. It was supposed to be complied. So, if you're counting, there's 4 shots in. Thank you, everybody. Hopkins complied and held the coin, a shiny new penny, in the palm of his hand. The man told Hopkins to watch the coin closely. After a few moments, the coin took on a silvery appearance and then appeared to be going out of focus. It then began to fade and eventually disappeared altogether. The man in black informed Hopkins that the coin would never be seen on this plane again. He then inquired as to whether Hopkins was familiar with alleged UFO abductee Barney Hill. Hopkins had replied that he'd kind of heard of Hill, but was under the impression that he had died in the not-too-distant past. The man in black informed Hopkins that that was correct. Barney. God damn it, that's number 5, god damn it. Barney didn't have a heart, said the man in black, just like you no longer have a coin. It should be noted that Barney Hill did die of a cerebral hemorrhage. The men in black then suggested that Hopkins destroy any material he had related to the UFO case. Hopkins, extremely shaken by the encounter, followed the advice of the man and burned all the files he had related to the UFO case. While he had repeated phone troubles after, and the phone company even said that his line had been tampered with and maybe tapped into.
No shit.
Yeah. But he said he never saw the man again. That's fucking nuts,
yeah,
dude. His phone's tapped into. Man in black appears, tells him everything that he knows about Barney Hill and knows exactly how Barney Hill died. And then makes a coin disappear.
Knows how many coins are in his pocket.
Yeah. Makes the coin disappear. Says, look, you'll never see that on this plane. So my question is, are the men in black necessarily aliens? Are they possibly interdimensional travelers?
I don't know, man. That's a good question.
Yeah.
It's a good question.
Are they coming back and forward in time, possibly? Time travelers. And maybe this is time travelers are the UFOs. See what I'm saying?
Yeah, it could be.
Yeah. So, Dr. Albert K. Bender was a well-written and extremely... Well, we talked about Bender just a minute ago. In 1955, Bender's research was about ready to yield serious fruit about UFOs. And he prepared to unveil the paper that would prove that the U.S. government had covered up proof of UFOs, which we know at this point, yes, they did.
Mm-hmm.
They've released that they covered it up for years. So we know in 1955 they were definitely covering it up.
Yes.
So he planned to publish his findings in Space Review. That was until he was visited by the Men in Black. Bender claimed that 3 men dressed all in black visited him at his home and warned him against pursuing the topic of UFOs any further. The men left Bender scared for his life, and he immediately shut down all his research and the Flying Saucer Bureau. Many people who knew him claimed that Bender was a changed man after this encounter. He later started rambling. Almost unreadable was his works. And he simmed, Jason. He simmed, and he simmed again. And then he simmed some more, and that's shot number 6, if anybody's counting. By this point, if you're playing the drinking game and you aren't drunk 36 minutes in, you're not where Brian is. That's for damn sure.
So what did he do? Because he didn't sim.
He seemed.
Okay.
He seemed to live his life in constant anxiety and terror. And he still received these mysterious phone calls with nobody on the other end until the end of his life in 2002.
Wow.
Yeah.
So somebody was making sure, damn sure, he didn't release what he had.
Yeah. Yeah. They didn't want him ever talking about what he knew. So here's a guy named Jim Templeton. And he took a photo of his daughter. And he was shocked to see there was a figure in the background of the photo of his daughter. It was not really in camera view when he said he took the photo, and he doesn't know where it came from. The film was verified by Kodak, and then Templeton's story went public. Because he saw a mysterious figure that almost looked like what you would consider a gray, like an alien.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He saw a gray in the photo. And here, look. You can see the photo. I'll show you. See the photo?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Looks like a spaceman or a gray.
It does look like a spaceman.
Yeah. Like somebody in a spacesuit. And this film was verified by Kodak, the people who made the film, and said, yeah, it's authentic. There's nothing wrong with the film. Really? So he didn't alter it in any way, shape, or form. So he went public with this. Not long after, guess who showed up?
Men in Black.
2 government agents who referred to themselves as number 9 and number 10. They demanded to see the site of the photo and questioned Templeton about the events. When Templeton told them that he didn't see the figure personally, the men became angry and stormed out of the field, never to be seen again. Templeton was later contacted by 2 employees at a missile launch pad in Australia who claimed that they saw 2 figures that resembled the man in the photo on the launch pad security footage. Apparently, the missile at that site in Australia had been produced only 20 miles away from the field where Templeton took the photo.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So they saw the same man, and yeah, he was told by 2 government agents dressed in black that they didn't want him to show the photo. They went out to where it was, then they got pissed and walked off. Just saying. Just saying.
But did they tell him not to talk about it?
Yeah, they told him not to talk about it. They told him, look, you need to just forget about this photo. You didn't see nothing. And then Templeton told him, well, I didn't really see it. It was just in the photo. And they said, no. You didn't take a picture of another motherfucker. You didn't take a picture of that. You understand? There's nothing in that photo.
Yeah.
Just forget about that
But
photo.
It's almost like they got pissed off that there was something in the
Yeah.
photo. Like
Yeah.
somebody was in the photo
Yeah.
that wasn't supposed to.
Yeah, that wasn't supposed to be in the
They
photo.
were pissed off at Temple.
Yeah.